Hello and welcome to today's show. Today is all about a year in review and setting yourself up for the next year. I'm your host, Maria Condi. I'm a life and business strategist, and I help you get out of your own way and start living the life that you truly, truly want. I work with money mindset and all things to do with self-sabotaging behaviors and limiting beliefs and all those things, and some strategy thrown in there too. I would love for you to subscribe, like the channel, help me grow it. So today, like I said, is all about looking at the new year and really diving into doing some reflection first and then moving forward. It's always great to, I'm coming from a corporate background as a CPA, doing lots of work in strategy. And one of the things that we do often is review. So look back at this year. What worked well? What didn't? We're going to talk about goals in a minute, but did you set some New Year's resolutions or some goals for yourself? I don't really like those, but we'll talk about that in a minute. How did that work for you? Did you have lessons in there? And, it's really important to look at not just what went well and what went wrong. And don't use the word failures because those are all lessons. They're all lessons. And it's really important to acknowledge the things that went really, really well. Often we don't do that, especially as women. We don't do that often. And if you're a type A personality, which I am, but I've learned to harness it a little bit differently, you'd go down the checklist, excuse me. Check, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that, or I didn't do that, and beat yourself up about that for a moment or two. And then go on to the next thing. When was the last time that you actually savored something that you did? Look back and went, holy crap, I did that? Or looking at year over year, did it? Often we don't do all those things. We just see, oh, I haven't hit my goal of 100K or 200K or a million or whatever your numbers are. We look at those things and don't look at all the other pieces of the puzzle that are working well. So I want you to take a moment and look back at the year. What worked well? What were your lessons? What will you do differently going forward into the new year? And the biggest one, what do you want to let go of? I do a little virtual retreat every year called Nourish and Dream. And it's all about sort of setting yourself up for the next year, doing big visions. And we do quite a few exercises on getting clear on your vision. And with that, we did an exercise this year, which was about called Freedoms and Intentions. And it's, what do you want freedom from? What do you want to let go of? I did an exercise personally recently that was so transformational for myself. And I'd never done this before. I write in journals all the time. I do all the stuff like that. But I did a burn journal last week. And I was angry about some stuff. I was carrying some stuff around that wasn't serving me. And I wrote it all out on a piece of paper. And there was a lot of F words in there. There was a lot of language. It was pretty colorful. And I just let it rip. Everything that was on my mind that wasn't serving me, that was annoying me, that was just all the garbage that I was holding on to every single day. And I took it outside and I burnt it. And I have to say, did not burn easily. It's minus 30 where I live. So it wasn't easy to get it going in the barbecue. And I didn't want to do it in my kitchen because, I don't want to burn my house down, right? And I encourage anybody who wants to do this to take it far from anything that is flammable before you do it and I put mine in a pot that was metal, so it wasn't going to catch anything on fire, right? So be responsible if you're going to do the exercise. However, it was transformational. I recognized the next day I was lying in bed and it's like, I have a smile on my face. I'm just smiling. I don't know why, but I was just sitting there smiling because I felt peace. I haven't felt that in a while. throughout the pandemic and loads of loss in life and all sorts of things, I wasn't feeling that. And so I really, it's a really great way to let go of a whole bunch of crap in your life that you don't want to carry forward with you. Give yourself a clean slate going into the new year. Now, having said that, let's talk about going into the new year. So we're going to release all the crap of last year. And when you look at the new year, I'm not a big fan of goals. I'm a coach and I teach kind of some of that stuff, but I teach it trying from a different angle. I really believe in having a big vision. I want you to dream big, think big, all of that. It's really important to have a big vision. But setting yourself a goal to say, I'm going to be a millionaire next year, a lot of shit can happen between now and then. But if you hold a big vision that is based on fulfillment, experience, purpose, growth, contribution, if you fill yourself up with that kind of vision and the dream life you want to have, which could be a material type dream life, but focus on serving. That's what I'm about. I'm not into quick win, get rich schemes and stuff like that. I believe in serving and being rewarded through the universe for that. I love doing things with law of attraction and manifesting. So when you think about that, not necessarily setting goals for the year, but what are your intentions? So you have this big, grandiose vision that you want. Figure out the why. What's important to you? That takes a little bit of work. I have a couple memberships that we dive into this, especially my one that's been launched very shortly. It's called Dream, Believe, Achieve Society. And it's all about diving into that piece. Because a lot of people really get stuck there. People just see the means goals of, oh, I need to make $10,000 a month. And then they're left with basically a job that's not very fulfilling. And I don't want that for you. I want you to feel fulfilled in life. I want you to have everything. You can feel fulfilled and you can make a lot of money. You need both. Because when you can serve a lot of people, you can make a lot of money, you can serve more people, you can do more things in this world. And even if you want to have a fancy car, that's okay too. Because I see it as the person building the fancy car, you're employing people to build that fancy car. It's all good. The money is going around, it's flowing. That's the way it should be. So I try not to do big goals in the sense of, I see goals as things that you should be able to check the box for. Intentions and visions are those big things. What do I want to achieve overall? I'll give an example. So in my membership, my intention this year might be, I haven't figured out my numbers yet, but my intention might be to have 1,000 people in one of my memberships. So, that's the intention. So my goals would be to do the things that are required to make that happen. And those are things that I can actually check off the list. And are you actually promoting yourself every week, Maria? Are you doing the things that are going to make that happen? Those are things that you can actually check. And if it's not working and you're not getting the numbers you want, then you have to look back and say, okay, what's working, what's not, what's wrong with my ad copy, all those things, right? Those are things I can check a box on. That's how you're going to get there. But if you set a goal to have 1,000 people in your group, it's losing some of the context of it. And it's a little bit harder for the brain to wrap itself around that because it seems overwhelming when you look at that, to just have that. But if you have an intention of that and you break it down into small little chunks that are actually doable, in our Be Inner Circle group, we actually do a quarterly planning session where we actually get into what are the tasks that you need to do. We hold that big vision, but we break it down into doable little chunks that you can actually do. And, one of the things that I'm all about also, which you'll know over time of listening to and watching my videos, is it's more about being. Who are you being? That's why my group is called Be. It's called Be Confident, Wealthy, and Empowered Inner Circle. And it's been shortened as Be just because that's what happened. And I run with it because it's fun. It's, and I've built my whole brand around that. However, I want you to think about being more than doing. You can do, and you can put your head into a brick wall every day. But if you're not showing up, the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are and how you're showing up. If you have a lack mindset, the universe is going to match that. So you got to think about those things. I'll do a whole nother show on that one. But I want you to think about going into this new year. What is that big vision that you want? Take some time to really think about that. What worked well? What didn't work well? What commitments did you make last year that just don't sit well with you? Give yourself permission to let go of that. Let go of it. Don't carry it on. If it's not working for you, let it go. And move forward into a fresh new year with fresh ideas and do something that's going to give you fulfillment and joy. Because that's going to make life so much more happy, joyful, purposeful. And typically, abundance follows that. So, with that, I want you to enjoy the day. And I wish you a happy new year now, even though I'm not sure when this is, you'll be watching this. You could be watching this next July for all I know. But you know what? Having said that, it doesn't matter if it's July. You could do all of this then. My birthday happens to be in July, and I actually do this in July. That's sort of my fresh start for the year, is July. But I am recording this at the start of 2023. And I want you to live a fulfilled and abundant life. So with that, have an amazing, amazing new year. See you next time.